What's up? It's your boy Amateur Pro Home Chef Nathanael Levinson. Let's talk turkey. No wait, let's talk chicken. Chicken. It's pretty ubiquitous, right? You go to the store, you buy a chicken, you buy chicken breast, chicken thighs, right? You can buy all this stuff pre-broken down. Oh, you can also just buy whole chickens. So we're gonna look at a whole chicken, we're gonna break it down ourselves and talk about the different parts and what you'll use them for. Now, okay, it's fine. It's not fine. Okay. I forgot where I was. All right. So most of the chickens you get will be around this size. This is kind of a young chicken. It's like 4 or 5 pounds. Pretty typical. Now, most of the chickens that you will get in the United States are young chickens. And why is that important? Well, it's more tender, but it's also less flavorful. If you go to certain other countries, a lot in South America and Central America, the chickens they eat are older. So they've developed a lot more flavor, but they're also a lot tougher. So they tend to be used pretty much exclusively for stewing, because you got to break down cartilage and things like that to get really tender meat. Whereas with these young chickens, the flavor's a bit lacking, which is why everything tastes like chicken, because it's pretty much a blank slate. There's not a whole lot going on, but it's much more tender. So you can do fast cooking methods on this sort of chicken. Now, if you buy a whole chicken, it will most likely come with giblets. Typically, you'll get the liver, which we have here. You'll get the heart, and you'll get the gizzard. These are all edible. If you're not a fan of those things, you can throw them away, right? Not a big deal. But chicken liver, delicious. Chicken hearts, delicious. Chicken gizzard, kind of chewy, but make great stock, right? So if you're gonna just throw them away, just throw them in a pot with the bones after you're done breaking it down and make some chicken stock. Pretty easy to do. So let's break this down and let's actually look at what we got. So as you can see, right, the chicken, we've got our 2 breasts, we've got wings, we've got thighs, right? We've got the spine running along the back. So this would be the legs of the chicken, the head of the chicken would be up here. So you're gonna want a nice, large, sharp knife for this. You want something heavy because you are gonna have to cut through some bones and some joints. So having something hefty helps. Generally, the first thing you wanna do is you're gonna wanna separate the breasts. So we wanna cut through this skin that's keeping the thighs attached on both sides. Okay, so you see how that's opened up here? So now, generally you wanna cut along the joints, right? But so for the breast, you wanna find the spine. Spine is right down the middle. We're gonna cut straight down one side of the spine. And then once we get down, we're gonna turn inwards and just cut off that breast, okay? So there's your chicken breast, that's your white meat, right? Yanorama, but honestly, if you cook it well, it can be delicious, okay? And obviously, if you wanna take the skin off, you literally just, boom, skin off. And don't throw this away. You can use chicken skin. You can fry it up crispy, or you can add it to, like, if you wanna grind some chicken, add some chicken skin to add a little bit of fat. Right, but so there's your chicken breast, and you can cut this further if you want to get like a tenderloin, but I think that's nitpicking. It all tastes the same, right? So I not the best cut here, but it doesn't matter, right? So for the wing, we probably want to flip this bad boy over. The wing joint is right here, so we want to cut down to that joint, and you're gonna have to pop some bones. So if you're squeamish, maybe let someone else do this, right? We want to pop the bone, find that joint, and we want to just cut right in between that. Okay, so now we've got our wing and our drumette, okay? So we can further break that. Again, you wanna find the joint, because if you don't have to cut through bone, you don't want to, right? Much easier. Now I've got my winglet, and I've got my drumstick, okay? So those, you fry them up for wings, they make great soup stock. So those are fantastic too, right? For the thigh, right, once again, we want to find where that bone joint is, okay? So we're gonna find that bone socket. We're just gonna cut right along there. I'm gonna separate the thigh, okay? So now I've got the thigh, which is this portion, and I've got the drumstick. And again, we can separate this as well. So we just wanna cut down, we wanna find that joint, okay? We wanna find that joint, which is right here. We're just gonna cut between those 2 joints, okay? So now I've got my drumstick, and I've got my chicken thigh, okay? Deboning it is, it's a chore. Generally, you want to keep the bone in, but basically to debone, what you'll do is you'll identify, okay, here's the bone, and you just want to kind of carefully cut around it, kind of roll the bone over and carefully cut around it, okay? So now I've got my boneless thigh, and if I take that skin off of that, Now I've got my boneless, skinless chicken thigh, right? So you can do all of this on your own. And again, all of these parts are great. Anything you don't want to use, throw it in a pot, cover it with water, boil it for an hour or two, and you've got great chicken stock, right? I would throw in some celery, onion, carrot, just to give it a little flavor, but make your own chicken stock, delicious, and it freezes really well. Now, so that's the general idea of breaking it down. Now there is a way to open up a chicken that's called spatchcocking. And basically what that is we're gonna remove the spine and flay it open, kind of butterfly it open so that you get more surface area if you wanna roast a chicken. It's a great way to do it. So basically, although this looks a mess since I've already removed half this chicken, but basically you wanna find the spine and just kind of insert your knife down there and just rotate down. This is a kind of a grisly thing to do, but you wanna just get down there and just cut away all that. Maybe I should put a trigger warning on this. Amateur pro home chef Nathanael wins. Fatality. Right, so now that you've spatchcocked your chicken, right, you can open it up like this and lay it flat so that it cooks more evenly, you'll get better skin. So if you're roasting a chicken, spatchcocking it is a great way to go. Now the final thing I wanna say is, obviously you're handling raw chicken, so make sure you clean everything, disinfect everything, the cutting board, your hands, the knife. You don't wanna get salmonella, right? The last thing is, if you see one of these little plastic things in here, this is a thermometer, and it's a really bad thermometer. Basically, it's designed to heat to a certain temperature, that it releases a polymer that melts at a specific temperature and bing, pops up and tells you that it's that temperature. Problem is, that's usually overcooked. So you can leave it in, it's food safe. You can leave it in if you don't want a gaping hole in your chicken. Hopefully one you buy doesn't have this. But anyways, breaking down your own chicken gives you a lot of options, right? And anything you're not using immediately, put it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, use it for stock. So until next time, my boy, amateur pro home chef Nathanael Levinson, don't be no chicken, cut up your own chicken. Oh God, I'm covered in chicken juice.